Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boat crafter, and I've come up very quickly to the craft room because I've just realised I haven't done hubby's Valentine's card yet. So I will be in trouble if I don't make him one this year. So I thought, what can I do? A nice simple card that's quick and easy but fun to make at the same time. So I'm going to do a shaving foam background. So let me show you what I've done so far. So all I've done so far is I've got this is a 7.5 by 7.5 card, and I've just mounted it onto some red and white to start off with, and then I've gone and cut myself out a few hearts, and I thought, well, those are a bit plain, and I could do some I guess I could have just, used some red card or something, but then I thought, you know what, let's try one of the techniques, see how that turns out. Now, this is something I've done lots over the years, and it's great for doing with children. In fact, that's where I first saw this technique. And it's called the shaving foam technique. It's been around for years. You may have seen it in other channels, but it is such fun. It's a messy craft, so do be warned, it is a bit messy, but it really is good fun, and it smells lovely if you get the right shaving foam too. So I've got this, is just a very cheap shaving foam that I've had. In fact, I've had this in the craft room for a while because I do use it occasionally to do this technique. So all you do is you give your shaving foam a good shake, and then you just spray it into some sort of tray or utensil. And like I say, we do these with the children, and they have such fun, but you just have to be careful when you're doing it with children that you've got one that isn't going to cause them any allergic reactions or anything like that. So just spray a good amount of spray foam into your tray, whatever you're using. I would have preferred to use a smaller tray, but this is all I had to hand. Make sure you've got plenty of kitchen roll as well, just to keep things clean and tidy. And then you'll want some paint or some inks. Now I'm going to use some inks that I've got, and I've chosen, this is like an orangey colour, this is a really deep sort of red, and that's, I think that's sort of red. I decant them, and so that one's a Cosmic Shimmer Scarlet Mist, that one's a Delusions Funky Fusion, and I haven't labelled that one sorry. But yeah, so you'll need some inks, or you can use, and what we usually use with the children is like a paint, but we wouldn't use this with children. It would be something like the powder paint or something, or the children's paint that you can buy. I always have this in the craft room as a scraper, and that's just to scrape the shaving foam off when you're done. But you can use you could use the edge of your ruler, or anything that's got an edge on it. So now you've got your shaving foam in the tray, and I'm just going to sort of even that off a little bit, because that's come out in quite big gloops, hasn't it? So I'm just going to sort of even that off, but I want a nice layer of it. So let's do that. I'm keeping it fairly square, but it doesn't really matter. Right, now I've done that, I'm going to now use some of my inks. So I'm going to use this sort of lighter colour as a background, and all I'm going to do is just sort of drip it over. So you can spray it on if you want. Let's see, I'm not sure, because some of these, they do get blocked up, don't they? Yeah, that's not going to spray anyway, so I'm going to carry on just dropping some bits of ink all over the foam, and this is why it's a bit messy, but it is such fun, and when you do it with a classroom full of children, squeals of delight and the colours and things, especially when you do the reveal. Is just yeah, it's good fun. So and what happens is, if you look, if you put a little bit of ink in, it kind of spreads out. See how some of them have started to sort of spread and seep? So you think you've not put an awful lot on, and then you find out actually it's kind of spread a bit. Right, okay, done with that colour now. So, and you don't need loads, don't get thinking you need to put a lot on. I'm going to use this one. It's very dark, so I'm going to be really sparing with it. I'm not even going to try with the spray on this one. I'm just putting some little bits, trying to get so all around on here. I'm not going to put as much of this on as I have with the orangey one. And you can come back and add more. Not so easy to take away, but you can add more, and you can do it over and over. You use the same shaving foam lots, and you get all sorts of different effects. So this is the sort of reddy pink one which I want to use, and I'm going to use more of this one, I think, because I want the sort of red-ish look. So just keep let's say, if I could have sprayed it, that's great for when you can spray, but I don't think these are spraying very well. No, I think they're all blocked up because these have got the mica in. So what happens is the mica collects at the bottom and then it clogs up the tube, which is very annoying, but yeah, unfortunately it happens. Right, so once you've done this, you've got a choice then. You can either start using this as is, or you can start making patterns in it. So I'm going to make patterns in. I'm going to show you how I make the patterns. You can see there's still a few gaps, so I'm just going to fill those in a bit more. So, but you can see how some of the smaller dots, especially on that sort of purpley colour, has really kind of, you know, stuck out and spread. Right, okay, I'm done with the inking. Now, where did I put it? Always losing my pokey tool. Now I'm going to use my pokey tool, but there's a little thing on there. I'm going to keep that on so I get a wider one, and all I'm going to do is go up and down, and you get that sort of bake, you know, on the top of a bakewell, you get that sort of effect with it. And you can do this as many times as you like. See how it drags it and gives it that sort of almost like a feathered look. So you can do that. You can use that now, or if like me you're going to go backwards and forwards the other way, and you can go as close together or as far apart as you want to get different effects. So there we go. Right, now for the fun bit. Now I'm going to take those hearts, and it's the big ones I want to use on my card, so I'm going to drop them down, face down. And the great thing is you can look for where you think there are some really nice patterns. So I think there's some really nice patterns here. I'm just popping it down there, and you just kind of, you know, poke it in a bit. And then there's some nice things here, so I'm going to poke that one in there. I've got some, I really like that bit there, so that's going to go on there. And then I've got some smaller hearts as well, which I'm just going to poke on like that. That's lovely there, so I'm just going to push that in. I've got some room here, so I'm going to push that one in like that. running out of space. So the next thing you do then is you lift them up. Okay, and you take them out, and you can either scrape them straight away, and if you scrape them it doesn't damage them. That's the amazing thing with this art, is you think that scraping them I'm going to scrape the ink off, but you don't. I'm going to take these out first and then I'm going to scrape them. Let's just take those out. I'm sticking them on the side there. So that's them out. And you can see now if you've got any pattern left that you want to use. If not, then just go over it again. Ooh, there's one. Didn't spot that one. Let's take that one out. You go over it again, sort of smooth it out again if you want to, and then come back in. So you can use some of that space already, so that's looking really nice there, isn't it? So I might pop one on there, which is going to give me a really kind of faded look, I think, with that ink. So let's pop that there. Or you can come back in with some more ink and do it all over again. So I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it really quick because I want to use this. And what I will do is I'm going to pop this to one side when I've done, because as long as I use it within sort of an hour or so, I can add even more. So that's that one. I'm going to do a little bit of orange and use whatever colour you like as well. That's the great thing. Whatever you've got to hand will give you some really beautiful effects. Like say paints, some really cheap paints actually from like Poundland or something would work really, really well. You may have to walk them down if they're a bit thick, or if you've got any children's paints that you can get, that's really good. Or I mean, I use the inks. The inks, you get a much more subtle effect than if you were using like a paint or something, but it's horses for courses. It's what you want to, what effect you want, isn't it? So that's that. Right, where's my pokey tool gone? There we go. Let's do that again. So backwards and forwards just to give that sort of feathered effect. And you can be quite, you know, almost measure them out if you want to have a really kind of regimental look. Or you can, like I'm doing this time, you just, you know, go where the feeling takes you. Right, there we go. So we've got some different effects going on there, look. So I've got some quite heavily purple looks there. And then we've got some that are really much more sort of orangey there. And that one. And where do I want to put this last one? Let's put it there. Right, and then just push them down. So what you want to make sure is that the your whatever you're putting on has full contact with the foam and the inks or the paints that you're using. Right, let's just take those out like that, and then I'm going to pop this to one side. As long as it stays quite foamy, if that's even a word, as long as it stays fairly, you know, like that, then you can carry on using it as long as it's the colours that you want to use. Right, now for the fun bit. This is the sort of the reveal bit. Where did I put my, there it is. So you'll need a couple of pieces like this, and then just lay them on. I'm going to do the big ones first because those are the ones I want to use on my card. And all you do is drag like that. Just get rid of all the foam off it and you reveal the pattern underneath. And I've been quite sparing with the ink because that's the effect I wanted. Was a quite like a white background with the ink pattern on there. But you can You can put loads on there if you want. Let me just bring my tray back. Whoa! I'm bringing my tray back because I just want to put the what I'm scraping off back into there so that I'm not losing it. Oh, my light's gone. Do apologise. What's happened there? I'll carry on. Sorry if it's suddenly gone dark. I don't know why. I think my light has just gone. Right, and then you just leave them to dry like that. And you've got so many different effects. I always, whenever I do this, I always do more than I actually want or need, because this is such, they have such beautiful effects here. That's that last one that I did. Has got a really pretty tone to it. And then this one, let's scrape the rest of that off. And they come out, because I've used inks with a mica on, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up in this light now that it's, for whatever reason, has gone off. But there's a sheen to them. So let me just put all of them on there. And it smells lovely. If you get some nice smelling shaving cream, it is a nice smelling project. And we scrape these off because I mean, you can leave them if you want to, because it will eventually, but you know, it's easier to scrape them off and you do the reveal, but also they'll dry much quicker. Now that's the one. Let me just see if I can get it all off. That's the one that I did before I did the second spray. Let me just get all of that. Oh, just ended up putting it back on. Right, let's wipe that over with that. So it's a really, really subtle colour on that because I've used the inks. So let's scrape that back off in my tray. And I'm just getting more and more messy, but let's pop those on there. Actually, before I do these ones, I'm going to wipe my hands because I am getting very, very messy here. As I said, it's a very messy craft, but it is such an easy craft to do. Oh, make sure you don't stack them like that. You don't want them sticking together. And that one's pretty. I like that one. That one's come out really well. That one has. And so is that one. That was quite subtle as well. And then we've got that little one there as well. Right. There we go. Scrape that back into there. Let's take these off here. And these will dry quite quickly. Right, let's use that. Oh, I've missed one, haven't I? Right, 1 second. That one. Right, let's scrape that off. Oh, that's pretty. Right, that's that one. If you didn't want to scrape, you can just use a cloth like that to get rid of the foam. But I prefer to scrape because then you can use that ink, not ink, the foam that you've used, that you've scraped off, you can use that and put it back into whichever tray you're using. So as you can see, I've got it all round. Let me turn that way. I've got it all round those edges, but I can just scrape that off, put it back in the middle and scrape it over and add more ink to that, which I will do in a bit. But let's get on with this card. So, right, now then, I shall leave these to dry, but I want to use that one, and I'm torn which one of these two to use, because I think they're both very pretty. Oops. My whole craft room now smells quite pretty. Right, Let's pop them all to one side out the way. Those will dry and those will go in my stash to be used on other projects. Right then, so let's bring my card back in. Let's just make sure that there's nothing wet there. Right. So what I want to do with this is I want to have one like that and one like that. So I think I'm going to turn it my way just so as I can see. So I'm going to decide which one I want. They're both pretty. I'm going to use that one. So with the first one, where have I put my foam tape? Oh, I did have it here a minute ago. This is why I'm having a sort out this year of my craft room. Stuff has got to go because the problem is I can't find anything anymore. And I'm sure I'm not, I'm not alone in that. But I come into the craft room and I sit and I think, oh, I'll do that. And then what happens is all the ideas that I had before I stepped into the craft room go out of my head because I have so many stuff, and it's stuff, a lot of it is stuff that I haven't used, and I've got to be honest with myself and say that I probably won't use, so I need to have a proper clear out, because then what happens is I'm halfway through a video and I can't find the foam paper, which I've got it now. So those are going to go on there like that. I've got to my Valentines, which I'm going to pop on there as well. But I want to raise these up just to give a little bit more interest. I don't know whether to put that one flat and raise that one up. What do we think? Or to raise them both up. I think I'm going to put that one flat and then raise that one, just so that it's on a different level. So I'm just going to, a little bit of ink all the way, a bit of glue all the way around. I do like the two hearts sort of offset to each other look. Right, there's that one. And then this one is the one that I'm going to raise off. I'm just going to put my ruler across there like that because it's damp on both sides, because I haven't waited for it to dry. I can see that is just lifting ever so slightly. Now foam pads perhaps would have been better. Have I got pads? No, that goes on the shopping list. See, this is the thing. I end up buying stuff because I haven't got stuff when I need it. So do look out, there will be some de-stash videos coming over the course of this year, I think. But I'm not going to rush to do it, because if I did that I wouldn't get any crafting done for a long time. But unfortunately, because I do have to clear this room out, I'm not going to do as many videos this year as I perhaps did last year, unfortunately. I'm still going to try and make sure I do at least one a week. And then hopefully next year, or as soon as, well, maybe even not next year, maybe this year, as soon as this room is cleared of the stuff that I don't use, won't use, and in some cases don't even like, and I don't know why I'm keeping, then once this room is clear and tidy, then need a cloth again. There we go, some more shaving foam there. Then hopefully I will be able to do a lot more videos. Last year I just had a mad year of videos, just because I was so inspired to do lots of different things, try lots of different things as well. But I think what I might do when I am clearing out the craft room is to revisit some of the crafts that I haven't done for a long time. Do you know what I mean? You buy stuff, like I did last year. I think there was a few things last year, like the peel-offs. I revisited them, and that was great fun, going back to a lot of the sort of peel-off projects that I've done previously and haven't done for years, but I still have a whole load of peel-offs around the house, around the craft room, should I say. I'm going to pop that on there like that. Actually, thinking about it, what I should have done, instead of using the red, I should have done a whole sheet, maybe a piece this size, and done this effect and use that in the background. I will know better for next time. And then I've got my Valentine, which I want to put on here somewhere. I did think about maybe just stamping it so that it's really plain, and keeping it so it's not too fussy, especially when you're giving a card to men. I don't think they like an awful lot of embellishments and the like, so certainly my hubby doesn't. Although it does need to be lifted a little bit now that I look at it like that. I could leave it like that, or I could put something underneath it, but I think what I might do is just mount it onto some red like that and pop that on there. I could mount it onto something like that, couldn't I? Or even yes, if I'd have thought about it, I think I would have done this for the background and then mounted it onto a piece. Not a heart shape, but a piece that was that same background. But hey ho, it's all good fun. Right then, so I need to put that onto there and then pop that on there. I think I use my scissors. Where are my scissors? I have my little scissors, which I'm going to use to cut. I could pop it on the guillotine, but sometimes you just want to keep it simple, don't you? And sometimes you just don't want to be fetching loads of bits and bobs out. Right, there we go. That's straight. So that's going to go on there. I might lift that as well. What do we think? I'm going to lift it, I think. So, whoop. Note to self, I have thought about getting a little pot or something so that I can just stand it upside down on the pot and have it so that it's constantly ready to be used. Right, I'm just going to put that there. I am going to raise that up, I think. Let's get a little bit of this foam. Just put a little bit behind there, and there is hubby's Valentine's card all ready to go. And I think this is a very delicate looking card this year. Like I say, keep it simple. There we go. So, Valentine's card for hubby, and some extra embellishments. These are now almost dry, that I can pop in the drawer for next time I do a card and I want a fancy heart on it. Anyway, I hope you liked it, not just the card but the technique as well. Give it a go if you haven't already. I know there are other channels that have done videos on how to do the shaving foam technique, but yeah, I think it's brilliant and it's so simple, and you get some really different effects depending on what ink or paint you use. So have an experiment. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.